What if you're far more intelligent than you've ever realized? What if the signs have been there all along, woven into your habits, thoughts, and instincts, but you never saw them for what they truly were? Intelligence isn't always measured by academic achievement or test scores. It manifests in ways that are often overlooked, buried beneath assumptions about what it means to be smart. Some of the most brilliant minds in history didn't fit neatly into conventional definitions of intelligence. They questioned norms, thought differently, and sometimes even struggled with traditional education before making groundbreaking discoveries. So, how do you recognize intelligence when it doesn't announce itself with accolades or high IQ scores? The answer lies in understanding the deeper, often subtle indicators that reveal a mind working at an extraordinary level. In this video, we are going to talk about 9 signs that show that you're way more intelligent than you realize. Let's get into it. Throughout history, people who reshaped the world rarely followed predictable paths. Albert Einstein was slow to speak as a child and struggled in school. Thomas Edison was labeled too stupid to learn anything by his teachers. Yet, these individuals possessed minds that worked differently, minds that questioned, explored, and redefined reality. Their brilliance wasn't immediately obvious, but their impact was undeniable. Similarly, countless people today possess intelligence that goes unnoticed because it doesn't conform to standard expectations. Perhaps you've experienced moments where your thinking diverged from those around you, not in a way that felt wrong, but in a way that felt unique, insightful, or even unsettlingly profound. If so, you may be part of a group that sees the world through a sharper lens, processes information more deeply, and connects ideas in ways others overlook. This script explores 9 key signs that point toward hidden intelligence, traits that often go unrecognized but hold immense significance. Each sign reveals something fundamental about how the brain operates, how perception shifts, and how creativity flourishes in unexpected places. These aren't just abstract theories, they're grounded in psychological research, historical examples, and real-life experiences. As we delve into each sign, you'll begin to see how intelligence can take many forms, often hiding in plain sight. Are you ready to uncover the truth about your own mind? 1. The power of idea generation. Consider this. Some of history's greatest thinkers weren't necessarily the ones with the most brilliant ideas. They were the ones who had the most ideas, period. Genius is not a steady stream of perfect insights. It is a flood of thoughts, many of which are flawed, impractical, or outright failures. But within that overwhelming abundance of ideas lies the raw material for innovation. Think of Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His relentless generation of ideas, even the ones that led nowhere, was the foundation of his eventual breakthroughs. This process, known as idea generation, is one of the clearest indicators of high intelligence. Intelligent people don't wait for inspiration to strike. They actively produce a constant flow of concepts, hypotheses, and possibilities, knowing that among the noise, something valuable will emerge. Take Sarah, a software engineer who constantly sketches out new app concepts in her notebook, even while riding the subway or waiting in line for coffee. She doesn't worry about whether every idea is practical. She simply lets her mind explore. Over time, she notices patterns in her thinking, identifying recurring themes and refining rough notions into functional prototypes. Her colleagues admire her ability to solve complex problems quickly, but few realize that her success stems from years of generating thousands of ideas, most of which never saw the light of day. Sarah's brain thrives on volume, using sheer quantity as a mechanism for discovery. In contrast, someone who hesitates to voice unconventional thoughts might miss opportunities for creative breakthroughs simply because they fear failure. Why does this habit matter? Because intelligence isn't just about having good ideas. It's about having enough ideas to find the right one. A mind that continuously generates possibilities demonstrates cognitive flexibility, curiosity, and an openness to experimentation. The human brain is wired to seek patterns, and the more data it processes, the better it becomes at recognizing meaningful connections. When you allow yourself to entertain even absurd or impractical thoughts, you train your brain to think beyond conventional boundaries. This mental agility is crucial in fields ranging from science and technology to art and entrepreneurship. Those who excel in these domains often share a common trait. They embrace trial and error, viewing missteps not as setbacks, but as necessary steps toward progress. If you frequently find yourself brimming with ideas, some useful, some strange, and many in between, you may be engaging in one of the most powerful exercises of intelligence. You don't need to be right all the time. You just need to keep thinking. Every idea, no matter how trivial or misguided, contributes to a reservoir of knowledge that fuels future breakthroughs. And in a world that increasingly values adaptability and originality, the ability to generate ideas without hesitation is a rare and invaluable skill. 2. The subtlety of dark humor. Humor is often seen as a simple social tool, a way to bond, relieve tension, or pass the time. But for highly intelligent individuals, humor can serve a deeper function. It becomes a window into their cognitive complexity. Among the various forms of humor, dark comedy stands out as particularly telling. It requires a nuanced understanding of irony, paradox, and the absurdities of life, elements that resonate more profoundly with those who naturally engage in higher-order thinking. If you find yourself laughing at things that make others uncomfortable or confused, it may not be due to insensitivity, but rather an acute awareness of the contradictions and imperfections inherent in existence. Consider James, a college professor whose lectures are filled with dry, sarcastic remarks that occasionally border on the macabre. While some students struggle to grasp his jokes, others find themselves captivated by his sharp wit. One evening, after a discussion on historical tragedies, he quips, "Well, at least the Black Death gave us early modernization in labor economics." Most people would find such a statement shocking, but those familiar with his style recognize the layers of meaning behind his words. He isn't dismissing suffering, he's acknowledging the bizarre, often contradictory nature of human history. His humor isn't meant to offend, it's meant to provoke thought, to challenge conventional perspectives, and to highlight the absurdity that lurks beneath serious topics. Intelligent people gravitate toward dark humor because it allows them to explore discomforting truths in a socially acceptable way. Unlike slapstick or straightforward jokes, dark comedy demands cognitive engagement. It forces listeners to confront the juxtaposition of tragedy and amusement, morality and absurdity. Studies have shown that individuals with higher verbal and nonverbal intelligence tend to prefer sophisticated humor, including satire, sarcasm, and dark comedy. This preference isn't merely about being different. It reflects a heightened ability to process multiple layers of meaning simultaneously. A joke that seems offensive on the surface may, upon closer examination, reveal a deep commentary on societal issues, existential dilemmas, or philosophical paradoxes. Moreover, dark humor serves as a coping mechanism. Highly intelligent individuals often experience the world with greater intensity, absorbing more information and perceiving complexities that others overlook. This heightened awareness can lead to anxiety or disillusionment, especially when confronted with the harsh realities of life. By finding humor in difficult situations, they create a psychological buffer, allowing them to navigate distressing subjects without becoming overwhelmed. For example, medical professionals, who must regularly deal with mortality and suffering, often use gallows humor as a way to maintain emotional resilience. Their ability to laugh in the face of adversity isn't callousness. It's a testament to their intellectual and emotional maturity. If you frequently catch yourself chuckling at jokes that confuse or unsettle others, it may be a sign of superior cognitive processing. Your humor isn't just entertainment. It's a reflection of your ability to perceive and articulate the intricate, often contradictory nature of the world. Rather than dismissing your sense of humor as eccentric or inappropriate, consider it a marker of your intellectual depth, one that sets you apart in ways both subtle and profound. 3. The strength of memory. Recall. Imagine meeting a friend for coffee and without hesitation, recalling the exact conversation you had 2 years ago about a movie neither of you has watched since. Or perhaps you're in a meeting and effortlessly reference a statistic you read months ago, impressing your colleagues with your clarity and precision. These moments may seem like simple recollections, but they are actually powerful demonstrations of a well-trained memory, an essential component of intelligence. Memory isn't just about remembering facts. It's about synthesizing information, drawing connections, and retrieving knowledge when needed. The ability to recall specific details with ease often separates those who merely absorb information from those who truly understand and apply it. Let's take the example of Daniel, a historian who prides himself on his ability to remember obscure historical events and their intricate contexts. While researching a paper on medieval trade routes, he recalls a conversation he had years ago with a colleague about Byzantine currency fluctuations. Though the topic seemed tangential at the time, he now realizes its relevance to his current work. Without looking up a single source, he reconstructs the discussion in his mind, accurately referencing dates, figures, and economic implications. His colleagues are stunned by his ability to pull such precise information from memory. But Daniel knows that this skill didn't develop overnight. He spent years training his brain through deliberate practice, reading extensively, testing himself on historical timelines, and engaging in discussions that forced him to retrieve information from long-term storage. Memory recall is not simply a function of natural talent. It is a trainable skill that intelligent people cultivate through consistent effort. Studies show that individuals with strong memory retention often engage in active learning strategies, such as spaced repetition, visualization, and elaborative encoding, that reinforce neural pathways and improve information retrieval. Highly intelligent people tend to be lifelong learners, constantly exposing themselves to new knowledge and reinforcing what they already know. Whether through reading, conversation, or hands-on experience, they build a vast mental database that allows them to draw upon past experiences when solving new problems. This ability to connect disparate pieces of information is a hallmark of cognitive sophistication. Beyond academic or professional applications, memory recall plays a crucial role in everyday decision-making. Consider someone trying to choose between 2 job offers. A person with strong memory skills might recall past experiences with similar companies, compare salary structures based on previous conversations, and assess cultural fit by referencing interactions with former employees. These memories provide context, enabling smarter, more informed choices. Likewise, in personal relationships, the ability to remember small details, birthdays, preferences, past conversations, can foster deeper connections and demonstrate emotional intelligence. If you find yourself surprising others with your ability to recall names, events, or obscure trivia, you may be exhibiting a sign of exceptional intelligence. Your brain isn't just storing information haphazardly, it's organizing and retrieving it with precision. This skill, honed through years of curiosity and engagement, gives you a distinct advantage in both intellectual pursuits and daily life. 4. The gift of daydreaming. For centuries, daydreaming has been dismissed as a distraction, a sign of laziness or lack of focus, but recent studies suggest otherwise. Far from being a passive escape, daydreaming is a form of intense cognitive activity that correlates strongly with high intelligence. Neuroscientists have discovered that when the brain is engaged in spontaneous thought, it activates the default mode network, DMN, a collection of interconnected regions responsible for self-reflection, problem-solving, and creative insight. This network is particularly active in individuals who score higher on measures of fluid intelligence, the ability to think logically and solve novel problems. In other words, the more you drift into imaginative thought, the more likely you are to possess a sharp, analytical mind. Consider Emily, a graphic designer who often finds herself lost in thought during mundane tasks. While commuting to work, she mentally constructs elaborate storylines for characters she invents on the spot. During meetings, she zones out, visualizing entire design concepts before sketching them later. At first glance, these habits might seem unproductive, even disruptive. However, Emily's daydreaming isn't idle fantasy. It's a form of subconscious brainstorming that fuels her creativity. When faced with complex design challenges, she often finds solutions emerging from these seemingly random mental wanderings. Her ability to generate innovative concepts without direct external stimuli is a testament to the power of an active imagination. Daydreaming also plays a critical role in emotional intelligence and problem solving. Many of history's greatest thinkers, including Einstein and Newton, credited their breakthroughs to moments of deep introspection and imaginative play. Einstein famously described his theory of relativity as beginning with a daydream about chasing a beam of light. These instances illustrate how the mind, when allowed to roam freely, can synthesize ideas in ways that structured thinking alone cannot achieve. Intelligent individuals often engage in this kind of mental exploration because they instinctively recognize its value. They use daydreaming as a tool for planning, strategizing, and envisioning possibilities beyond immediate constraints. But why does this tendency appear more frequently in highly intelligent people? One explanation lies in the brain's capacity for executive function. Intelligent individuals typically exhibit stronger cognitive control, allowing them to switch seamlessly between focused attention and open-ended thinking. While most people struggle to balance productivity with creativity, those with higher intelligence can toggle between these modes effortlessly. This ability enables them to harness daydreaming not as a distraction, but as a resource for generating insights. Research has shown that people who engage in frequent vivid daydreaming perform better on tests measuring creativity, problem-solving, and abstract reasoning. Their minds are not wandering aimlessly. They are constructing narratives, exploring hypothetical scenarios, and forming connections that elude others. If you often find yourself drifting into elaborate mental landscapes, you may be engaging in one of the most powerful cognitive exercises available. Your brain isn't idling. It's refining ideas, testing theories, and preparing you for the next great leap in thought. Daydreaming isn't a weakness. It's a sign of a mind that thrives on complexity, imagination, and the endless pursuit of knowledge. 5. Emotional attunement, the depth of feeling. In a world that often equates intelligence solely with logic and problem-solving, emotional intelligence remains an underappreciated yet vital aspect of cognitive strength. The ability to understand, regulate, and express emotions isn't just a soft skill. It's a mark of profound intelligence. Many assume that rationality and emotion exist on opposite ends of a spectrum, but research suggests otherwise. The most intelligent individuals don't suppress their emotions. They engage with them deeply, dissecting their feelings to gain insight into themselves and the world around them. This emotional attunement allows them to navigate complex social dynamics, make thoughtful decisions, and maintain a heightened awareness of both their internal states and the emotions of others. Consider Maya, a corporate strategist known for her ability to diffuse tense negotiations with a calm, intuitive approach. While her colleagues rely strictly on data and logical arguments, Maya pays close attention to the emotional undercurrents in every discussion. She notices when a client's frustration masks underlying concerns, or when a team member's hesitation signals doubt rather than disagreement. Instead of dismissing these cues, she uses them to guide her responses, adjusting her communication style to align with the emotional needs of those around her. Her colleagues often marvel at her ability to resolve conflicts before they escalate, unaware that her success stems from an advanced form of intelligence, one rooted in emotional awareness rather than pure analytical reasoning. Emotional intelligence is not merely about being empathetic. It involves a complex interplay of self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Studies have shown that individuals with high emotional intelligence perform better in leadership roles, maintain healthier relationships, and demonstrate superior decision-making abilities. Why? Because emotions serve as valuable sources of information. When processed effectively, they offer insights into motivations, intentions, and potential outcomes that purely logical analysis might overlook. For instance, a manager who ignores the emotional climate of their team risks missing critical warning signs, low morale, burnout, or dissatisfaction, all of which can significantly impact performance. Conversely, a leader who understands and responds to these emotions can foster a more productive and supportive environment. Highly intelligent individuals recognize that emotions are not obstacles to reason, but rather complementary tools for understanding the world. They don't view emotional sensitivity as a weakness. Instead, they see it as a refined skill that enhances their ability to connect, persuade, and innovate. This deep emotional attunement allows them to navigate life with greater nuance, making them not only more effective in their personal and professional lives, but also more insightful thinkers overall. 6. The craving for solitude. Solitude is often misunderstood. To many, it conjures images of loneliness, isolation, or disconnection from the world. But for highly intelligent individuals, solitude is not a retreat from life. It is a necessity, a space where the mind can flourish without distraction. While social interaction is undeniably important, intelligent people often find that their deepest insights, most creative breakthroughs, and sharpest reflections occur when they are alone. This craving for solitude is not a rejection of company, but rather a recognition that the mind works best when given room to breathe, explore, and evolve without interruption. Take the case of Marcus, a theoretical physicist whose most significant contributions to his field came not in the bustling environment of a university lecture hall, but in the quiet hours of the night when the world was asleep. While his colleagues thrived in collaborative settings, Marcus preferred the solitude of his study, where he could immerse himself in complex equations without the distractions of conversation or external pressure. He found that his best ideas emerged not through discussion, but through silent contemplation, when he could follow a thought to its furthest conclusion without interruption. His colleagues admired his intellect, but few understood that his solitude was not a choice born of antisocial tendencies, but rather a conscious strategy to optimize his cognitive output. Research supports this inclination. Studies have shown that individuals with high intelligence often derive greater satisfaction from spending time alone. Unlike those who require frequent social stimulation to feel fulfilled, intelligent people tend to be more self-sufficient in their intellectual pursuits. They don't need external validation or constant interaction to stay engaged. They are capable of entertaining themselves with deep thought, independent exploration, and creative expression. This preference for solitude is not a sign of detachment, but rather a reflection of their ability to extract meaning and fulfillment from their inner world. Moreover, solitude provides the mental space necessary for original thinking. In a world saturated with information and constant connectivity, the ability to disconnect is a rare and valuable skill. Intelligent individuals recognize that true innovation often arises not from collective brainstorming, but from the quiet moments when the mind is free to wander, question, and construct new ideas. Whether it's writing, reading, experimenting, or simply reflecting, solitude allows them to engage in activities that demand deep concentration and uninterrupted focus, conditions that are difficult to achieve in a social setting. If you find yourself drawn to moments of solitude, seeking refuge in books, music, or solitary walks, you may be exhibiting a sign of high intelligence. Your need for alone time isn't a flaw or a deficiency. It's a testament to the depth of your thinking and the richness of your inner world. 7. The intuition for musical patterns. Music is more than just sound. It's a language of patterns, rhythms, and structures that intelligent minds naturally decode. From an early age, highly intelligent individuals often display an uncanny ability to grasp musical concepts with minimal instruction. Whether it's picking up an instrument, identifying complex harmonies, or intuitively keeping time with intricate beats, their brains process musical elements in ways that set them apart. This isn't just about technical skill. It's about an innate understanding of structure, symmetry, and emotional expression through sound. Studies have shown a strong correlation between high intelligence and musical aptitude, suggesting that those who excel cognitively are also more likely to excel musically. Consider the case of Olivia, a teenager who had never taken formal piano lessons, but could sit at a keyboard and replicate complex classical compositions after hearing them just once. Her parents, baffled by her ability, assumed she was simply talented, but as she grew older, it became clear that her musical intuition was part of a broader pattern of intellectual strengths. She excelled in mathematics, displayed a remarkable ability to solve puzzles, and demonstrated an affinity for languages. Researchers have found that these seemingly unrelated skills are closely linked. Musical ability, mathematical reasoning, and linguistic comprehension all rely on the brain's capacity to recognize patterns, manipulate abstract structures, and predict sequences. Olivia's brain was essentially treating music like a puzzle, breaking down melodies into their fundamental components and reconstructing them with precision. The connection between intelligence and music extends beyond performance. Intelligent individuals often gravitate toward complex genres that challenge conventional expectations. While many people enjoy mainstream pop music for its simplicity and familiarity, highly intelligent individuals are drawn to jazz, classical compositions, progressive rock, or experimental electronic music, genres that demand active listening and reward analytical thinking. These styles often feature irregular time signatures, layered harmonies, and evolving motifs that require the listener to engage deeply with the composition. Just as a mathematician appreciates the elegance of an equation, an intelligent musician or listener appreciates the intricate craftsmanship of a well-structured piece. Furthermore, musical talent is not limited to playing instruments. Many intelligent individuals possess a heightened auditory memory, allowing them to recall melodies, lyrics, or even ambient sounds with astonishing accuracy. This ability is closely tied to working memory and auditory processing speed, both of which are markers of high cognitive function. When someone can instantly recognize a song's key, transpose a melody, or identify a chord progression without formal training, they are demonstrating a form of intelligence that transcends traditional academic measures. If you find yourself instinctively tapping out rhythms, humming complex tunes without realizing it, or feeling deeply moved by music in a way that others don't, you may be experiencing a manifestation of your intelligence. Music is not just an art form. It is a cognitive exercise, a mirror of structured thought, and a testament to the brain's extraordinary ability to perceive and interpret complexity. 8. Embracing ambiguity, the comfort of uncertainty. Life rarely offers clear-cut answers. More often than not, we are forced to navigate ambiguous situations, decisions without definitive solutions, problems with incomplete information, and circumstances where multiple interpretations coexist. For many, this uncertainty breeds anxiety. They crave certainty, seeking black and white resolutions to questions that defy simple answers. But for highly intelligent individuals, ambiguity is not a burden. It is a natural state of being. They do not fear the unknown. They engage with it, dissect it, and even thrive within it. This ability to tolerate and work within uncertainty is a defining characteristic of intellectual depth, distinguishing those who merely seek answers from those who understand the complexity of the questions themselves. Consider the case of Dr. Alan Carter, a neuroscientist who spends his days unraveling the mysteries of the human brain. His research often leads him to dead ends, conflicting data, or theories that contradict established knowledge. While some researchers become frustrated when experiments fail to yield expected results, Alan views these moments as opportunities. He understands that scientific progress is built on uncertainty, that breakthroughs emerge not from rigid certainty, but from the willingness to question, refine, and explore. His ability to remain composed in the face of ambiguity allows him to persist where others might give up, pushing forward despite the lack of immediate clarity. This comfort with uncertainty is not limited to scientific inquiry. It extends to everyday decision-making, interpersonal relationships, and creative endeavors. Intelligent individuals recognize that life is rarely governed by absolute truths. Instead, they operate within shades of gray, weighing probabilities, considering alternative perspectives, and adapting to shifting circumstances. This mindset enables them to make more nuanced judgments, avoiding the pitfalls of premature conclusions or rigid thinking. Where others may panic in the face of uncertainty, intelligent individuals remain calm, methodically analyzing variables and adjusting their approach as new information emerges. Psychological studies support this observation, showing that individuals with higher cognitive abilities tend to exhibit greater tolerance for ambiguity. They are more comfortable holding multiple possibilities in their minds simultaneously, resisting the urge to settle on a single explanation too soon. This intellectual flexibility is crucial in fields such as philosophy, law, medicine, and strategic planning, domains where rigid thinking can lead to costly mistakes. By embracing uncertainty rather than fearing it, intelligent individuals position themselves to make more informed, adaptive, and ultimately wiser decisions. If you find yourself unperturbed by unanswered questions, willing to sit with confusion rather than rush to conclusions, you may be demonstrating one of the most sophisticated aspects of intelligence. True wisdom lies not in pretending to have all the answers, but in recognizing the value of uncertainty and using it as a stepping stone toward deeper understanding. 9. The burden of imagination. Overdrive. An overactive imagination is often dismissed as a quirk, a side effect of boredom or daydreaming. But for highly intelligent individuals, it is far more than that. It is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it fuels creativity, problem-solving, and innovation. On the other, it can spiral into anxiety, overthinking, and emotional exhaustion. The same mind that envisions brilliant solutions and artistic masterpieces is also prone to catastrophizing, obsessing over worst-case scenarios, and replaying past mistakes with relentless precision. This paradox is a defining trait of intelligence, the ability to imagine countless possibilities, both constructive and destructive, often without the ability to shut them off. Consider the case of Elena, a novelist whose stories have captivated readers worldwide. Her mind is a ceaseless engine of ideas, weaving intricate plots and multi-dimensional characters with effortless fluency. But outside of her creative work, this same imagination turns against her. She spends sleepless nights envisioning disasters. What if her book flops? What if she loses her publisher? What if she wakes up tomorrow and can no longer write? These thoughts aren't just passing worries, they consume her, feeding cycles of anxiety that leave her drained. Despite her success, she struggles to silence the voice in her head that insists failure is inevitable. Elena's experience is not uncommon among highly intelligent individuals. Studies have shown a strong correlation between high IQ and increased anxiety, particularly in the form of rumination and excessive worrying. The more capable a person is of imagining possibilities, the more likely they are to dwell on negative outcomes. This phenomenon, known as imaginal overexcitability, is a hallmark of giftedness and high intelligence. It manifests as an almost involuntary tendency to explore every conceivable angle of a situation, including the darkest ones. While this trait enhances creativity and foresight, it also makes intelligent individuals more susceptible to stress and emotional fatigue. The root of this overthinking lies in the brain's heightened sensitivity to potential threats and complex scenarios. Intelligent people process information more deeply, which means they are not only aware of more possible outcomes, but also feel the weight of those outcomes more acutely. A minor setback isn't just a temporary inconvenience, it's a potential career-ending disaster. A missed opportunity isn't just a missed chance, it's proof of inadequacy. This hyper-analytical mindset, while advantageous in problem solving, can also trap individuals in cycles of self-doubt and fear. Yet, this same overactive imagination is also the source of incredible insight and resilience. The ability to anticipate challenges, visualize solutions, and explore alternative futures is what sets intelligent individuals apart. Their anxiety, though burdensome, is a byproduct of their cognitive depth. Learning to manage this overdrive through mindfulness, creative outlets, or structured problem solving is not about suppressing intelligence, but about channeling it in ways that enhance rather than overwhelm. If you often find yourself trapped in spirals of thought, unable to silence the relentless predictions of your mind, you may be experiencing one of the most profound indicators of intelligence. Your brain is not malfunctioning, it is simply operating at a level that demands careful navigation. Recognizing this can be the first step toward harnessing its power rather than being consumed by it. 10. Creativity. Amid chaos. The cluttered mind advantage. Conventional wisdom dictates that order fosters productivity. Neat desks, minimalist workspaces, and meticulously organized schedules are often touted as the keys to efficiency. But for many highly intelligent individuals, chaos isn't a hindrance. It's a catalyst for creativity. Studies have shown that cluttered environments can actually enhance cognitive flexibility, encouraging unconventional thinking and problem solving. While a tidy space may promote discipline, a chaotic one stimulates exploration, inviting the mind to make unexpected connections. The presence of scattered notes, half-finished sketches, and stacks of books isn't a sign of disarray. It's evidence of an active, restless intellect constantly searching for inspiration. Consider the workspace of Dr. Samuel Green, a renowned theoretical physicist whose office resembles less a laboratory and more a labyrinth of ideas. Papers cover nearly every surface, whiteboards are scrawled with equations and diagrams, and books lie open mid-page as if frozen in the middle of an epiphany. To an outsider, the scene appears overwhelming, even counterproductive. But to Green, this controlled chaos is where his best work happens. He explains that the physical act of moving between scattered notes, flipping through pages of handwritten calculations, and tracing connections across different surfaces keeps his mind engaged in a dynamic, non-linear way. Unlike a pristine desk that encourages linear thinking, his cluttered space forces him to constantly reorient himself, revisit forgotten ideas, and stumble upon insights he wouldn't have otherwise considered. Green's experience is not unique. Creative geniuses throughout history, from writers to inventors, have embraced disorder as a breeding ground for innovation. Steve Jobs, known for his meticulous design sensibilities, kept a notoriously messy office. Author J.K. Rowling famously wrote portions of the Harry Potter series in cafes surrounded by crumpled drafts and coffee-stained notebooks. These individuals didn't thrive despite the chaos, they thrived because of it. The very act of navigating a cluttered environment mirrors the way the intelligent mind functions, jumping between ideas, revisiting old concepts, and forging unexpected links between seemingly unrelated elements. From a neurological perspective, cluttered spaces activate the brain's exploratory mechanisms. When surrounded by visual stimuli, the brain is constantly scanning for patterns, making associations, and generating new ideas. This heightened state of cognitive engagement is particularly beneficial for tasks requiring divergent thinking, the ability to generate multiple solutions to a problem. In contrast, overly organized environments can impose a rigid structure that stifles spontaneity. While order may help with routine tasks, creativity often flourishes in environments that encourage improvisation and serendipity. If you find yourself working best amidst a sea of papers, post-it notes, and scattered objects, you may be tapping into a fundamental aspect of intelligence. Your clutter isn't a distraction. It's a map of your mind, a tangible representation of your intellectual restlessness. Rather than striving for artificial tidiness, embrace the chaos as a testament to your brain's relentless pursuit of discovery. 11. The art of doing nothing. The power of mental stillness. There is a common misconception that intelligence is synonymous with constant action. Society often equates productivity with worth, praising those who fill every moment with tasks, goals, and achievements. But for highly intelligent individuals, some of their most valuable work occurs not in motion, but in stillness. The ability to sit in silence, to let the mind wander without interference, is a skill that distinguishes the truly brilliant from the merely busy. While others scramble to fill empty moments with distractions, intelligent people recognize that doing nothing, truly nothing, is an act of profound cognition. It is in these moments of apparent idleness that ideas crystallize, problems resolve themselves, and creativity flourishes. Take the case of Clara, a philosopher who spends hours each day staring blankly at the wall, barely moving, seemingly lost in thought. To an outsider, she appears unproductive, even lazy. But inside her mind, entire debates unfold, ethical dilemmas are dissected, and new frameworks for understanding human consciousness take shape. Clara doesn't need external stimuli to engage her intellect. Her own thoughts provide all the stimulation she requires. She describes these periods of mental solitude as akin to diving into an ocean of ideas, where each breath of silence brings her deeper into the currents of thought. It is here, away from the noise of the world, that she discovers insights that elude those who never pause long enough to listen to their own minds. Scientific research supports this notion. Studies have shown that moments of mental stillness activate the brain's default mode network, DMN, the same system responsible for daydreaming, self-reflection, and creative problem-solving. This network allows the brain to integrate past experiences, simulate future scenarios, and forge connections between seemingly unrelated concepts. In essence, doing nothing is not a void. It is a fertile ground for intellectual growth. Highly intelligent individuals understand this intuitively. They don't fear silence or inactivity. They embrace it as a necessary phase of the thinking process. Moreover, the ability to engage in deep, uninterrupted thought is a rare and valuable skill in an era dominated by constant digital stimulation. The average person checks their phone over 150 times a day, bombarding their brain with notifications, messages, and updates. This constant influx of information fragments attention, reducing the brain's capacity for sustained, meaningful thought. Intelligent individuals resist this cycle. They carve out space for mental solitude, recognizing that true insight cannot be rushed or forced. Whether through meditation, solitary walks, or simply sitting in quiet contemplation, they allow their minds the freedom to explore without constraint. If you find yourself drawn to moments of stillness, resisting the urge to fill every second with activity, you may be engaging in one of the most intellectually enriching practices available. Your mind is not idle. It is working at its highest capacity, untethered from distractions, fully immersed in the limitless landscape of thought. In a world obsessed with doing, the act of doing nothing may be the ultimate sign of intelligence. 12. The laser focus of deep concentration. In a world overflowing with distractions, social media alerts, endless emails, and the constant hum of background noise, maintaining deep concentration is a rare and formidable skill. Yet, for highly intelligent individuals, the ability to enter a state of intense, unwavering focus is not just an occasional occurrence, it is a defining trait. They can tune out the surrounding chaos, shutting down external stimuli to fully immerse themselves in a task. Whether it's solving a complex mathematical problem, composing a symphony, or crafting a compelling argument, they lose themselves in the moment, existing solely within the realm of their chosen pursuit. This ability to concentrate deeply isn't just about discipline, it's about cognitive endurance, the power to sustain mental effort over extended periods without succumbing to fatigue or distraction. Consider the case of Adrian, a software engineer whose colleagues often describe him as inaccessible when he is deep in code. Once he begins working on a challenging algorithm, the world around him fades away. His coworkers have learned not to interrupt him unless absolutely necessary. He enters a state of hyperfocus so intense that he often forgets to eat or respond to messages. To Adrian, this isn't unusual. It's simply how his mind operates when engaged in meaningful work. He doesn't just complete tasks efficiently. He delves into the intricacies of each problem, dissecting every variable, testing multiple approaches, and refining his solutions until they reach perfection. His ability to maintain laser-like focus allows him to produce work of exceptional quality, often surpassing what others achieve in twice the time. This intense concentration is not exclusive to technical fields. Writers, artists, scientists, and musicians all experience moments of deep immersion where time seems to vanish and their work consumes their entire being. Psychologists refer to this state as flow, a condition in which a person is fully absorbed in an activity, losing track of time and external distractions. Flow is not just a fleeting experience, it is a hallmark of high intelligence. It requires a combination of expertise, intrinsic motivation, and the cognitive capacity to sustain attention for prolonged periods. Intelligent individuals don't just work harder, they work deeper, entering a mental zone where distractions dissolve and their full intellectual potential is unleashed. The ability to concentrate intensely is also closely linked to problem-solving prowess. When faced with a complex challenge, intelligent individuals don't skim the surface. They dive in, examining every detail, exploring multiple angles, and refusing to settle for superficial answers. This depth of focus allows them to detect patterns others miss, identify subtle inconsistencies, and develop innovative solutions. It is not merely about working longer hours, it is about maximizing the quality of each moment spent engaged in a task. If you find yourself easily slipping into states of deep concentration, losing track of time while engrossed in a project, you may be exhibiting one of the most powerful indicators of intelligence. Your mind isn't just processing information, it is fully committing to it, extracting every ounce of insight and creativity from the task at hand. In a world that rewards multitasking, your ability to focus with singular intensity is not just a skill, it is a superpower. 13. The unshakable willpower of absolute concentration. The ability to maintain deep concentration isn't just a cognitive trait, it is a force that shapes the trajectory of intelligent individuals' lives. It allows them to push past distractions, ignore irrelevant stimuli, and commit entirely to the task at hand. This level of focus isn't merely about staying on task. It's about entering a state of heightened awareness where external interruptions fade into insignificance. Imagine sitting in a crowded cafe surrounded by chatter, clinking cups, and the distant hum of traffic, yet remaining completely absorbed in a complex problem. While others might glance up at every passing sound, an intelligent individual with absolute concentration remains undisturbed, their mind locked onto the challenge before them. Consider the case of Dr. Evelyn Hart, a neurosurgeon renowned for her precision and ability to perform delicate operations with unwavering focus. In the operating room, distractions are abundant: monitors beeping, assistants whispering, the occasional shift in lighting, but none of it affects her. She moves with calculated intent, her mind fully engaged in the intricate dance of tissue, nerves, and blood vessels. Her colleagues have witnessed moments where an emergency alert blares overhead, yet she continues her procedure without flinching, completing each incision with surgical perfection before acknowledging the disruption. To an observer, it may seem like she is ignoring the chaos, but in reality, she is exercising an extraordinary level of cognitive control, filtering out unnecessary information while maintaining laser-sharp attention on what truly matters. This kind of concentration isn't just reserved for high-pressure professions. It manifests in everyday moments, whether studying for an exam, composing a piece of music, or designing a complex system. Intelligent individuals possess the ability to shut out distractions not because they lack awareness, but because they have mastered the art of selective attention. They understand that focus is not about blocking everything else out. It is about choosing where to place their mental energy. This distinction is crucial. While others may struggle to filter out noise, intelligent individuals consciously direct their attention, ensuring that their cognitive resources are allocated to the most pressing task. Moreover, this intense concentration isn't just about efficiency, it's about depth. Intelligent people don't just complete tasks faster, they engage with them more thoroughly. They notice subtleties others overlook, detect inconsistencies that evade casual observers, and develop insights that arise only from sustained, uninterrupted focus. This ability to delve deeply into a subject allows them to extract maximum value from their work, producing results that reflect not just effort, but intellectual rigor. If you find yourself effortlessly tuning out distractions, immersing yourself fully in your work regardless of external conditions, you may be exhibiting one of the most powerful indicators of intelligence. Your ability to maintain absolute concentration is not just a skill, it is a testament to the strength of your mind, a reflection of your cognitive discipline, and a key factor in your potential for greatness. 14. The relentless drive of intellectual curiosity. Curiosity is often dismissed as a simple personality trait, an eagerness to ask questions or explore the unknown. But for highly intelligent individuals, curiosity is far more than that. It is a driving force, an insatiable hunger for knowledge that propels them beyond conventional boundaries. While many people accept the world as it is presented to them, intelligent individuals constantly question, probe, and seek deeper understanding. They are not content with surface-level explanations. They dig beneath the surface, dismantling assumptions and reconstructing reality with greater clarity. This relentless pursuit of knowledge is not just a sign of intelligence, it is the very engine that fuels intellectual growth and innovation. Take the case of Dr. Jonah Patel, a researcher whose career spans multiple disciplines: physics, neuroscience, and artificial intelligence. His colleagues often marvel at his ability to transition seamlessly between vastly different fields, absorbing complex concepts with remarkable speed. What drives this intellectual versatility? An unquenchable thirst for understanding. Jonah doesn't limit himself to a single domain. He follows ideas wherever they lead, connecting seemingly unrelated fields to uncover new insights. His curiosity is not passive. It is active, persistent, and unrelenting. Whether he is studying quantum mechanics, decoding neural networks, or experimenting with machine learning algorithms, his mind is always seeking patterns, asking why and how, with the intensity of someone who refuses to accept ignorance. This drive for knowledge is not unique to academics or scientists. It manifests in artists, entrepreneurs, and thinkers across all walks of life. Consider the writer who spends years researching historical events to craft a single novel, the entrepreneur who dives into behavioral psychology to better understand consumer behavior, or the musician who deconstructs classical compositions to uncover hidden harmonic structures. These individuals are not merely gathering information. They are constructing a framework of understanding that allows them to see the world in ways others cannot. Their curiosity is not a fleeting interest. It is a lifelong commitment to continuous learning, a refusal to settle for partial truths. Psychological studies support the link between curiosity and intelligence, revealing that individuals with higher cognitive abilities tend to exhibit greater levels of intellectual curiosity. This is not just about enjoying puzzles or trivia. It is about engaging with the world in a fundamentally different way. Intelligent individuals process information more deeply, seeking out complexity rather than avoiding it. They are more likely to challenge assumptions, entertain multiple perspectives, and revise their beliefs in light of new evidence. This openness to learning is what allows them to adapt, innovate, and excel in diverse environments. If you find yourself constantly questioning, seeking answers beyond what is immediately provided, and feeling restless when deprived of intellectual stimulation, you may be exhibiting one of the most profound indicators of intelligence. Your curiosity is not just a quirk, it is a testament to the boundless potential of your mind, a reflection of your ability to engage with the world in a way that few others do. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, do well to click like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more insightful videos. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can be notified when next I post subsequent videos. See you on my next video. Bye.